Hey guys, it's Chloe. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to make a quick video for you guys because I am replacing the stock spare tire that my Tacoma came with the exact wheel and tire setup that I actually currently am running on my truck. The tires I am currently running on my truck are slightly larger than the spare that came with my truck, particularly in diameter, so I'm really glad I'm getting this done today. But aside from that too, I am running aftermarket wheels. They're method wheels and they use completely different lug nuts, meaning that I have been carrying around my OEM lug nuts in case I get a flat and need to change one of these out to my stock spare. So we're solving the size and lug nut compatibility issue by matching our wheel and tire. Now, the four tires on my truck are sized specifically 265/70R17, but I thought it would be also a good idea to test fit a larger tire like a 285/70R17 because I know that's a popular tire size with these mid-sized trucks, and you guys might be curious to see if that specific size fits in the Tacoma spare tire location, so we're gonna test that today. I think this is just a good video to do too because even if you're not going to be replacing your spare because maybe you're running your stock tires still, it's always a good idea to know how to actually remove the spare tire in case you actually need to. And of course, I'm gonna be demonstrating that in this video. Alright, so if you guys are curious, I am right now running a BF Goodrich KO2 tire. It's in the size 265/70R17. It's a low range C, and I absolutely love these tires. I ran this exact same set of tires for the first 55,000 miles on my truck, and even at that mileage, they still had some life left on them, but I loved them so much that I rebought them for my second set. Although when I did that last year, I did decide to switch up my wheels to these Method 706s. They have an offset of 0, allowing the wheel and tire to stick out a little bit more than my previous setup towards the street, giving my Tacoma a slightly more aggressive stance without compromising fitment. But the real benefit to my method wheels is that they have bead grip technology, or basically these grooves on the inner and outer bead seat that engage the tire bead for a stronger hold. This is great for when you're running really low tire pressures off-road, and unlike a real beadlock wheel, these are street legal. These also just look really good in my opinion. They're not too out of place, or this style I don't feel like is super flashy, but they definitely are unique. I know that's kind of personal preference though. I do have a pretty good one-time discount code with Method if you guys didn't know. Again, I do think wheel choice a lot of times does come down to personal preference, but if you happen to be shopping for Methods anyways, you can use the link in the description to basically get a one-time discount code to use. You can get some money off, but even before I got the discount code from them, I've always been a huge fan of Method for their bead grip technology and their 700 series wheels. And personally, I just think they look great on the Toyota Tacoma. Alright, now getting into the actual process of replacing the spare, starting out with removing the stock one. It's pretty simple to do, but you'll need the tool set, and for my Tacoma, this was located under the rear seats, and it looks like this. Now you'll need every piece, so make sure you remove them all from the case, and very important note, you may have a silver key attachment piece like I have here. I have seen some Tacomas without one, but mine did come with one, so more on this in a moment, but if you have one, attach it to the hook end piece. And basically now to lower the spare, you want to locate this hole above your license plate, and this is where you're going to put the hook end piece through and assemble the rest like I'm doing here. Eventually, you'll feel the hook attached to a lowering screw, and when you turn that counterclockwise, it lowers the spare. And this is a visual to show you what is actually happening here. So pretty self-explanatory, but you'll just keep rotating until obviously your spare touches the ground. Now, this should not happen to you, but when I lowered my spare, I found the attachment piece for that keyed silver bit I showed you earlier. That is of course supposed to stay on the lowering screw, but fell off because I think I accidentally hooked around the outside of it and displaced it, which goes against the whole point of a key bit, so this is my only gripe with this system, and for security, I recommend instead adding a lock to the holding bracket and wheel. Let me know if any of you have experienced this as well, but just moving on, you want to fish out the holding bracket and remove your spare. Super simple. And I have to say, I am impressed with the stock spare. I like that it's full size, and I think it's the exact same stock tire as what my Tacoma came with, which is nice, not some donut. Anyways, now let's install my BFG tire and see how it fits. This is my 265/70 R17 size tire and method 706 wheel with the center cap removed so that I can use that holding bracket again. And the process is the same, just reversed order of when we removed the stock spare, so just turn the tool clockwise instead to raise the tire into place. Now, because of the larger diameter, the tire was hitting the rear diff as I was moving it up, as you can see, but this isn't a big deal. Just pull it closer to the rear of the truck as it's moving up so that it sits further away from the diff, because in my case, there was plenty of room back there. Now, once it's completely up in place, which you'll know because the screw will be really hard to turn, we check fitment. And there is less clearance with the rear diff than with the stock, but still enough. And side to side, we do clear the exhaust, which is good and tough to see, but this bracket on the other side is cleared as well, so I'm happy with this. If you do find that with the same tire size you are coming in contact with something, you can try loosening the chain a little and adjusting, but yeah, this wheel and tire combo is tighter than the stock as expected because of the increased diameter, but it does fit. But better question, how does the 285 fit? Now this is one of the wheels and tires from my Land Cruiser, another BF Goodrich KO2, but specifically in the size 285/70 R17, and it's got another method wheel, but this one is a method 312. So a step up in size, but again, 285 is a very popular tire size for Tacoma owners, so I wanted to do this. Now right away, I noticed that I needed to help it out a lot more than with my 265. I was pulling it closer to me with my hand so that it would clear the diff. And then once I got it all tucked up and into place, it did go up all the way, so technically it did fit. And you can see there is clearance here with the rear diff, which is great, but side to side, it was razor thin clearance with the exhaust, basically touching, and I couldn't move it any more to the left because it was hitting the bracket. So in my opinion, if you wanted to make this work, you could probably hammer in some of that sheet metal on the left to make more clearance with the exhaust, which is what I recommend before running this, but as is, I think the fit is just a little too tight. You know, it's a pretty massive tire compared to the stock, but let me know if any of you out there are running this size, and if so, how you got it to fit. The last thing I wanted to mention going along with the theme of this video is it's a good idea to pick up one of these tire plug kits. I've used them not on my own truck, but when I was with somebody else that got a nail in their tire. And also, pretty important, but some people don't remember, check that your stock jack adequately lifts up your truck, because if you have a lifted truck and or bigger tires, it may not work, which is why I carry my Pro Eagle Off-Road 1.5 ton jack in my deck system. As you can see, yes, it's space intensive, but it has come in handy before. But that is it, you guys. I hope this video was helpful, but if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments down below. I have actually, thankfully, and crossing the fingers, never had to actually use my spare tire. I've gotten one slow leak before, but now that I have the correct wheel and tire, this is gonna be much better for my truck, so I am happy. Yeah, if you guys wanna connect more with me, you can follow me on my Instagram. It is at ChloeKuo Taco. I post more on there in real time, but other than that, I hope I will see you in the next video. Bye, guys.